I think we should reveal exclusive information on this podcast in case no one shows up. We should just say like all of the secrets,
Just
for the only
secrets.
for the people who are here.
So you're saying that we should like?
Hey, look! I forgot to turn my sound off
again.
It isn't.
I'm gonna put a Post-it note on your computer.
I think it's funnier when I forget.
Turn your sound off.
But I think I like it.
Oh, my hair looks terrible. It's great.
Hey, so does mine.
Let me see it.
I'm gonna go fix my hair.
I think it looks lovely. That doesn't build confidence in him when I say
Hi,
that.
Aaron.
Hey.
How's it going?
Super great.
I have coffee today because it's earlier.
I have a short Red Bull.
Oh, I have a tall coffee.
I had a long tall coffee.
Tall is like a thing. Is that where it came from? Starbucks?
Yeah, well, probably.
Why?
I don't know what the etymology of using tall to describe coffee beverages came from.
I don't like it.
Maybe it's because someone just couldn't think of the word large, and they were like, "What do we call that one? You know, which one? Not the short one.
It feels more
the
bespoke
tall one."
if we. Whoa. We.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RetroBlasting Saturday live stream. We are earlier today for a specific reason. This is not the way it's going to last. We're all a little punchy.
Sorry.
But
You're not sorry.
the reason is that we're having the entire studio rewired this afternoon with a new cable service provider. And they said that they could schedule us for Saturday at 2 o'clock, of course.
From 2 to 4, specifically.
Yeah, from 2 to 4. So we said, well, we have to get this done because we've been having internet problems. Speaking of which, did we actually hook this thing up to Ethernet before we started?
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't. Okay, well, whatever. It's the last live stream with this particular service provider, so huzzah! So we're just doing this live stream today at 11, and then they'll go back to 2 o'clock next week. So don't be afeared.
Don't be afeard now, everybody.
And we weren't sure how. Oh yeah, King Eric, the super chats are working. Just to give everybody.
We probably need to start.
Let's start
clear
with that
air.
and sort of talk about what happened this week. Well, maybe not everything that happened, but certainly
Right.
thank you, Decepticon Albro, for the super chat.
Yeah, there was some confusion on the super chats from YouTube's end that affected more than just my channel. They affected a number of our friends who are YouTubers as well, and it was kind of messed up for several days, and we were peppering YouTube for information about that. And the long and the short of it is that YouTube did fix the problem in the analytics with Google AdSense, and that money was properly allocated, and we hope that we won't have those problems again in the future for a long time. So the super chat system still works. But
Fingers crossed.
But
we'll find out in like 2 or 3 days, right?
yes, but like we've always said, if you guys want to donate to your favorite channels, not just us, but any of your favorite channels, and you want to avoid the super chat system, you can always look at their Patreons, their PayPal options, and possibly any other services that they might have, which we highly encourage for any channel that you want to see thrive as a voice in the pop culture space. So,
Michael, what was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon when you were growing up?
My favorite Saturday morning cartoon growing up was.
We're very interested.
I'm writing it down.
My favorite Saturday morning cartoon growing up was probably was a split between Pole Position and Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, I guess.
Oh, okay. Both good picks.
I liked The Real Ghostbusters when it was on Saturday mornings. After it went syndicated, it kind of lost something after that initial season.
You said Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends?
Uh-huh.
It's capital S.
I didn't capitalize anything.
Oh. Did you get the Pole Position one?
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I
good.
did get Pole Position.
And then the first season of Ghostbusters.
I thought that was an exquisite choice, personally.
Yes, I did too.
Very much so.
Let's do this whole thing like an NPR show.
What a learned decision you've made. Now,
Welcome to RetroBlasting.
welcome to Second
You
Red
can't
Bull.
talk that softly. Mics
Today-
don't pick you up.
Okay, I'll get right up on it. Today, our guest is Michael French from the wonderful YouTube channel RetroBlasting. Michael, tell us about how your channel formed and what you do there.
What? What? I'm not about to conduct an interview about myself on my own channel. Golly.
Michael Hinkson, thank you for the super chat. He says, good morning from the majestic Truckee Meadows in glorious northern Nevada. Sorry I missed you last week. Wow, that sounds lovely. I like to envision everyone like me having their cup of morning coffee, and of course for those who are in Europe or elsewhere, that's probably going to be like early afternoon sangria time.
I'm just going
Which is also
to
delightful.
answer Greg's question. He asked me what my first Star Wars figure was as a kid. It was Chewbacca. Got him at Kroger along with a sensor scope R2-D2 for my brother. My brother was 2 years younger than me and promptly took that action figure into the bathtub with him. And as you know, R2-D2 is covered in a sticker.
Yeah.
And so he was instantaneously ruined.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Greg Klein says NPR National Public Retroblasting.
Monkey Boy
I'm gonna turn
Clothcat
the
says,
AC up.
forgot to wish you a happy International Cat Day last week. Wow, I didn't even know that. Thank you very much, Monkey Boy. Jason Anderson says, join RetroBlasting Patreon for the orange chairs and Ninjor.
Yeah, we have...
Would you like to elaborate on what the heck he's talking about?
Sure. We started a series back in March called In Orange Chairs with Zodak.
Which
And-
is where I got the NPR thing
Right.
from.
And we...
Oh, see, it all comes. It's like a meta thing.
Do you know what it's like to be surrounded by the Dreamland hosts? Do you know what it's like? It's not fun.
I've heard that from various people. Probably the first of which was a guy named Greg Henderson. I met him at a supermarket while I was picking up
Lemons.
some handmade lemons. There's a gentleman, a lovely man by the name of Sherry, who makes lemons in his kitchen. It's something he learned while he was... I'm sorry, you were saying about... That was very rude of me. Please
I think you
continue.
need to talk slower.
I was just so excited
Oh.
about the lemons.
Go ahead.
Decepticon Albro says, two things that are great about Saturday, playing basketball and retroblasting. You guys are great for kids like me who weren't in the times you were. I'm only 17.
Well, thank you for being here. I'm that kid that if we'd had live streaming in the 80s, I would have been on live stream chats with World War II veterans and stuff, saying the same thing.
Wildstar Studio says, does Michael French smell like apples? Yes, much like Ray Liotta, he does smell like apples.
What?
So
Like apples, more like Apple Jacks.
that is a reference to Mystery Science Theater. I got that one. Unlike all the other ones from last week that I didn't get. I did get that one. Dave Lombardo says, I still don't drum for Slayer, but, you could say you did, and we would all believe you. And I would be over the moon to see that Dave Lombardo is in our chat. Like, holy crap! Dave Lombardo!
How is he typing?
Yes, those are California raisins. Those are California raisins on the table. They're the original Hardee's for, I guess you'd call it the original release of California raisins.
So
Yeah.
while we're on the topic of raisins, do you remember
Do you remember?
the plush
September.
California raisin toys? So they weren't the little plastic ones you
Yep.
got, but they were these and they had sort of these bendable
Yep,
wire arms.
Yep, I remember those.
I recently found a stack of photographs from when I was a kid. My ongoing joke with you guys is that I didn't have a lot of the awesome things that I see around me as a
Right.
kid, and that's one of the reasons why I love being a part of this, is to get to see some of these things. Hey, look, it's RoboCop.
Darth Baca says, hey guys, what did you guys think of the trailer for the new G.I. Joe game?
I didn't watch it. I'll watch it at some point. I didn't.
We should watch it right now. I'm just kidding.
No, we're not.
Yeah, turn the sound on
Reaction.
your computer again, Melinda.
Okay.
Anyways, you were saying.
Anyway, long story short, long story long at this point, I found a photograph of me opening Christmas presents, and there was one laying on the floor behind me, and I was like, hey, I had one of those.
Nice.
Don't know what happened to it. Maybe I ate it. I don't know.
We had some that I'm.
Thanks, my Babylon 5 DVDs are.
You're never getting those back. You've made such a big deal out of that, and you've made it as public as humanly possible that I've literally lost seasons of Babylon 5 that belonged to one cameraman Tim, and I'll never live that down.
Jason, I might do that. I might just do a video reacting to garbage. Yeah. Unless you're talking about the band
He's-
garbage.
No, he's talking about the the video game.
Michael's
yeah.
only happy when it rains.
Jeff David Lowe says, "Happy Tuesday. Zzz, keep up great. Zzz. So how does Michael feel about Beverly Crusher? Zzz, what? Zzz." I don't
Did
get
we
it.
wake you up,
I
Jeff?
think it's early in the morning wherever he is, so he's
Oh,
falling asleep.
So those are the honk shoe.
I was just really hoping he wasn't saying we're having sound issues. That's all I was worried about. Like,
Tim would hear that on those headphones.
that's a really specific way of saying you guys are having sound problems.
Doug, I wanted to tell you, you were saying talk about Dick Tracy and Saturday morning cartoons. I'll quickly mention that in a sort of hybrid style. For those of you that don't know, Dick Tracy actually did have a cartoon in the 60s. What? What's so funny?
Nothing.
What's so funny?
Trish.
Oh. Dick Tracy did have a cartoon in the 60s. And if you haven't seen it, it's very...
Stop it.
Very primitive animation. It's kind of a weird show. Apparently there's some problematic stuff in it these days for sensitive viewers, but if you haven't seen it and you're an animation connoisseur, try and track it down. It's been on DVD a few times.
Jody says, "Power deploy Magna lock on."
Ka-chink.
I know that's from a cartoon. I'm trying to remember which one.
No.
I don't know if that's Power Rangers or not.
If it is, it's
Maybe it is. I'm not
don't
sure.
You got a question about Dragon Ball Z.
Decepticon Abro says, "Michael, what do you know about Dragon Ball Z? I was wondering because it's my favorite anime of all time."
Okay, Decepticon. Let me tell you my
Isn't he the one that says he's 17?
Yes, I just said that.
Bless your heart.
So, I want to give you my one experience with Dragon Ball Z because I can't.
Dragon Balls, as I like to call it.
Oh my gosh.
Dragon Balls.
Exactly. Dragon Balls.
All
So
right.
that's what the zzz were.
I can't fully assess that show yet. I have a good friend named Kyle who really loves Dragon Ball Z, and he thinks it's the greatest thing ever. I have seen one episode of that show during its 90s televised run here in the United States. And let me describe to you exactly how it played out. It won't take long. There's a dude in an orange gi with black hair that goes way up, and he's floating in the sky. And there's this other dude who's like really like not human looking, and he's floating in the sky. And there are people on the ground watching them both in a big field.
Okay, so here's what you do next. This is how this is the other thing from Dragon Ball Z that I remember is, will Michael finish the story? Tune in next week to find out if Michael's able to finish the story or if Aaron keeps interrupting him.
Okay. So they're yelling at one. This is the beginning of the episode. He's screaming at the guy. The big evil guy is screaming back. I assume he's evil. Screaming back at him, and they're screaming at one another back and forth. Commercial break. Comes back. They're floating in the sky, screaming. Floating in the sky. Commercial break. Come back. Floating in the sky, screaming. Episode's over, and I looked over at my cousins because I was over at their house, and they were a lot younger than me, and I'm like, what the hell did I just watch? And they're like, Dragon Ball Z, and I went, nothing happened.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in those little parts where they're talking. Go back and just watch it. Slow it down.
No, we can't watch that while we're watching some of the other stuff we're watching right now.
No, probably
my brain will
not.
melt.
Anyway,
Literally.
so my one experience with Dragon
It
Ball
strings
Z,
you on. So you're supposed to get these little chunks.
It's like a soap opera.
It is very much like a soap
But
opera.
it's
with power.
Because nothing happens.
But even in a soap opera, somebody ends an episode going, "You have amnesia," and they're like, "Da-na-na."
I'm sure
Whereas
that
with
happens.
this, like, nothing happened the whole time, and I'm going, "Was that exciting for you guys?" And my cousin James was like, "Yeah, it was great." I'm like,
I think it's one of those things that's greater than the sum of its parts. So after
I think
you
it's
have
great
consumed,
after you've watched a lot of it.
yeah, like once you've consumed a bunch of it, there's these arcs and there's actually things that are going on, but they're happening over several episodes. I remember as a kid watching that show, kind of like I would think I like the idea of this, but I don't know if I can commit to being here at the same time tomorrow and the next day and the next day just to find out if he's able to finish his lunch. You know, because there were things that would take several episodes, like power-ups that would take several episodes to be achieved and things like that.
That's what kept distracting me. It was like so I haven't been able to properly judge the series, is what I'm saying. That's why I haven't talked about it. But one day I'll get to it.
Stephen Queen says, "What is the item that is in front of Michael, the Cobra one? I remember it from my childhood and forgot what it was."
This is the Starriers base. This is from the Tomy toy line Starriers. It is their main playset.
It's a good looking playset.
It is. It's cool. You could use it with G.I. Joes. Obviously, Cobra Commander would love to live here.
How much resto did you have to do on that?
Nothing. It came right out of the
It
box.
looks
like
literally brand new.
It
Yeah.
does look lovely
I was just looking at the blue plastic
for
over
something
the.
that's brown.
that. Yeah, it's not discolored or anything like this land shark is.
It's practically glowing.
Yep.
Vinkman says, Michael, I'm not into RPGs, but I've considered collecting the West End games Star Wars, particularly the source books. What would you recommend?
Vinkman, if you're going to collect West End Game Star Wars, first of all, applause, kudos to you. It's a great bit of really quality Star Wars stuff. I would start with the first editions in hardback. Try and get the hardbacks if you can of the original rule book called the role-playing game, the original source book called the source book, and then I would get the Imperial source book and the Rebel Alliance source book, all 4 hardbacks. That's really the core of the game. And then after that, you can branch out into various adventure modules and different. They even have source books dedicated to each one of the Zahn novels, which is pretty neat, all in hardback. I would get those. And then if you really get invested in the role-playing game paraphernalia from 87 to 90, however long it went on, 97, whatever it was, you can start trying to find the boxed miniature sets as well that are all themed. So like Stormtroopers, Jabba's Palace, Empire Strikes Back. Like they're really, really cool. Heroes of the Rebellion. There's
It's
a lot
cool that they did that.
Yeah.
That they gave you those different scenes to kind of
Yeah,
work in.
it's really neat. There's a lot of great stuff in the West End Games lineup.
Decepticon Albro says the one thing about Dragon Ball's 5-minute long fights last 13 episodes, LOL. And yes, I'm going to keep calling it
I
that.
did, I didn't expect it, even though you literally said that's what you call it.
And again, that's why, like, if you were going to do Dragon Ball Z, to me sounds like something that you could make an entire YouTube channel just about that. Like, it could be a Dragon Ball Z channel, and people who love it would get a lot out of it, because you could literally have an entire video feature just about one fight across 15 episodes or whatever it is.
Yeah, Carnage6X says, sorry haters, but Dragon Ball is amazing. I mean, look, it sounds like it would be hell on earth for me to try to watch it, because there's nothing more boring to me than a fight scene. And if it's a fight scene that's lasting over multiple episodes of something, I would just die. But like, if you're really into that, then that would be like amazing, right?
Look, I want to be clear. I don't know if they're referring to. I just said I can't judge Dragon Ball
He
Z.
may be talking about other people.
Okay, because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not.
That didn't feel pointed.
Yeah, I'm not making a judgment call on it at all. I've never seen it. The one thing I did see, though, it was an entire episode where nothing happened. That's the one experience I've had with it.
With Dragon Ball Z, I feel like just watching one episode is almost like you've blinked in any other TV series. Like, you've just kind of opened your eyes and then closed them.
Which is interesting, like, to just expand it out, kind of like an NPR episode. You just, like, really make it slower and really delve into the minutia.
Like, get into the little bits of it.
the little bits.
There was
it's like when we do a Dreamland, and it's, like, 10 times longer than the original.
yeah, that
thing.
drives some people crazy.
Like, there's an episode of something that's, like, an hour long, and we talk about it for 2 hours.
Yeah,
Right.
We just keep unpacking
just-
things, and it's like the suitcase is full of more suitcases.
Yeah, yeah,
and
it's
they're all
very-
the same size as the first suitcase.
Right.
Danker Castle asks if we're ever going to do a Lord of the Rings live stream. Yes, at some point we will do a dedicated Lord of the Rings live stream, and I'm also ramping up. Yeah, me too. We're all excited to do that. And I'm also ramping up
I have no memory of this place.
to slowly do a real feature on the Lord of the Rings toy line from the movies. So
The world has changed. I feel it in the air.
I forgot that I'm with the Dreamland hosts, and they are huge Lord of the Rings fans, so I've just derailed this live stream temporarily.
Feel it
So.
in the earth.
Why doesn't anyone talk about Tom Bombadil?
I mean, when we talked about Tom Bombadil in our Lord of the Rings panel at DragonCon, the whole room lit up. And
It was
everybody
like
was so
Aerosmith
excited.
walked
People were
on
like, oh my
stage.
God, Tom Bombadil. I'm like, what? You guys love Tom Bombadil? And they're like, yes. And it's like, I wonder if they love him. Like, I genuinely love him. But, like, I wonder if they love him ironically, because he's weird and he's not in the movie, so he's a little bit more, like, deeper knowledge, arcane knowledge, as opposed to, like, stuff that's in the movie. Like, you only know about Tom Bombadil if you've read the books. Or
I feel like it's used like a weird gatekeepy thing.
I feel like that,
people check
yeah.
to see if you just like the movies or if you like
But
the
there
books.
is something about it. Like, recently I reread Lord of the Rings, and
Sorry.
That's fine.
I'm sorry, I
No,
have
go
to tell
ahead.
this-
Go ahead.
So, what, did you have someone somewhere else to be, or
Oh my gosh.
Dang.
so?
No,
I-
but
when I reread
this is,
them-
hey guys, new Tom Bombadil take. Let's go.
I went and I read them. And so you get to the part where the hobbits are like trying to go through that forest, and Tom Bombadil kind of rescues them and takes them to his house, and Goldberry's there, and it's like this
Oh,
little
that old man Willow.
reprieve from all of the drama and the stress of their journey. And it's like this place where nothing can hurt them. And it's just, there's something so profoundly comforting about that. It's almost like when you go to your happy place. Like I almost go to Tom Bombadil's house in my head, because it's like literally nothing can hurt you there. Tom Bombadil is like this benevolent, jolly old fellow, like Santa. But he's also extremely powerful, like scary old magic. So if anything tries to get into his house, he can just like with a flick of his finger, like destroy them, and they just dissipate. It's something that's, I don't know.
He can literally
that's why I love
unmake
him.
them from reality.
Exactly.
It's just
It's
crazy.
so awesome. Anyway, okay, I'll shut up. Jody says, power deploy Magnalock on Starcom.
Oh, okay. So that was a Starcom thing. I'm still trying to get to that feature. I have it on DVD, but I haven't gotten around to actually absorbing all the episodes yet. There's only so much time in a life. So
I think they refer to that as YOLO.
Jeff David Lowe says, that's an amazing summary of Dragon Balls. It was over 5,000 Michaels.
I do know about these power level things.
Yeah.
They have to achieve different power
Do
levels.
do you remember that YouTube channel that would have like two different people, like in this case it was the Dragon Balls guy, whatever that guy's name is, and Superman, and they would fight?
Yes.
That's the only experience I have with Dragon Balls, and I literally thought that's how you said it, and I just think it's funny to say it now.
I'm pretty
but-
sure as a kid I thought the same thing for a while.
Well, because it looks like they're just capitalizing the Z, and they're doing the Z like, it's like a cool way of
Well,
pluralizing.
does that mean that the British pronounce it Dragon Ball Z?
Probably.
Probably.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Quite so.
Do
yes.
the British call them ZZ Top? Oh!
I never thought of that.
Decepticon Albro says there's a remastered version called Dragon Ball Z Kai, and it's so much better. It's redubbed, but it's also accurate to the manga.
So that's the thing I thought of that I keyed in on there is I did not know that there was a manga for Dragon Ball Z. So that does kind of give me some hope that there is this sort of deeper story that they're sort of giving you these little blinks of. And,
Right.
not that I will, but it would be something I would consider reading that before I watched all 7 billion episodes of Dragon Ball Z. I'd rather read a trade book.
the
of
I
original.
would just read the Wikipedia.
Well, there you go.
Keith Holmesley says you can't say Tom Bombadil on a plane.
I don't know why, but it hasn't occurred to me to say it on a plane before. I've definitely read
I'd like to say it
The
on a
Fellowship
plane.
of
I'd
the
like to
Ring
say it on a
plane.
train. All right. Turtle Biscuit says a lot of Dragon Ball's anime caught up to the manga since Toriyama was still drawing. They had to pad the eps to prolong it as much as possible.
Yeah, I believe that.
Oh, okay. So it's like a
Interesting.
Game of Thrones thing where the
It's also-
author hasn't gotten the books done, so they keep just making TV episodes.
They're going like behind the scenes, like
Just making taffy. Just stretching it out.
Decepticon Albro says Geekdom 101 does so many great videos going in depth about different topics in the series.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go.
Cool.
Somebody says they hope that we do the animated Lord of the Rings. We've talked about that. We did a podcast about that, and we also did a panel on it at DragonCon, which is on our channel. So you can hear us talk about it, but we're happy to talk about it some more because it's very bizarre. Where there's a whip, there's a way.
Oh, yes, the Bakshi movie, yes.
Yeah.
I would love to revisit that movie after a couple of years since we prepared the big panel for it.
It wigged me out because I was playing the Super Nintendo Fellowship of the Ring game the other day.
Yeah.
And when I selected like a character, like when the characters talk and it goes bloop and it's like Frodo, the picture of Frodo in the text box of the other person's dialogue is a rendering of the Bakshi Frodo or Sam or Aragorn. And I was like, there's no indication on this game that it's based on the Bakshi movie.
Yeah, that
But
is
they're
interesting when that happens.
I
wonder if they just couldn't get, there wasn't really anything when that came out that had been produced. I guess they just went back to the most recent thing.
Trish says this one time Tom Bombadil was in RoboCop.
I've heard that. I've heard that he was.
Because we said, I don't know if we said it online, but we said that the live stream this week was going to be about RoboCop, and then we
That was before we had to move this.
That was
because of
immediately
the window.
forgotten by us. Like, we both completely forgot that, but
Not
Aaron
me.
remembered it and studied for it and was like all ready to talk about it. And
Well,
so
that's why next week will be RoboCop at 2
RoboCop
o'clock.
is next week at 2 o'clock, you guys.
Yeah, 2 o'clock RoboCop next week live stream.
Will they talk about RoboCop? Tune in next week
to
at
find
2
out.
o'clock.
Michael, powers up.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Michael will be over 9,000.
Keith Holmesley says there's a spinoff called Dragon Nuts.
Well, that was a little on the nose.
I love
I
it.
think.
Good job, Keith.
That was my favorite snack.
Vinkman says, I'm really interested in the Star Wars source books for all the information that's in
Yeah,
there.
Vinkman, you can't go wrong. Those source books are awesome. I still thumb through them, and I don't even role play anymore, but they are great. I'll never get rid of them.
Charles Phillips says, I'm in the midst of a stressful weekend at work, but y'all are helping me get through it. Thanks for always brightening up Saturdays.
Oh, you're welcome, Charles.
man.
Thanks for being here.
Holy crap. Midnight's Edge.
Wow. Oh my God. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Midnight's Edge has always been really supportive of this channel and what we do. And I mean that like in the moral support online, like they've just always had our backs. And I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, man.
Well, kind of like Charles, right? He says we're helping him through a difficult weekend.
Yeah.
I feel like Midnight's Edge is kind of always there to help us through a
They always
difficult
have
weekend.
been. They've
so.
always just
Yeah.
supported us and given us that encouraging thumbs up. And yeah, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it.
So I have to read this just because I think it's funny. Bradley Netherton says, Michael, I live in Huntsville, not too far from Nashville. What do you think about Super 7? They took over the Motu Classics, and now they're doing Thundercats, Pro Wrestling, Ninja Turtles, and even Disney.
I think what you need to do is watch a video that Lio Convoy Reviews just released about the Super 7 business model for the Thundercats line. There is some there's a lack of reliability going on there with Super 7 that Thomas at Lio Convoy really outlines. He kind of goes through the receipts, he goes through the evidence, and it's not a conspiracy thing. It's just more of they're
just trying to piece together
Yes,
the narrative
they're
of what's because I think a lot of people are asking what's even going on
right
with this.
and the pre-orders that are promising things a year out, and then you get to that date and it's still 6 months after that and there's still no product. They're having a lot of problems and quality issues and strange things happening with Super 7, and Lio Convoy Reviews really outlines that very well as an education for me. So I would start with that video. I think their intentions are good, but I don't know if they're able to reliably execute on them. And that's the impression that I got from the Lio Convoy Reviews video, which I highly recommend you watch.
Michael, what is your, just because Midnight's Edge gave us such a generous super chat, what is your favorite Midnight's Edge video?
Well, the thing I like about Midnight's Edge is that they don't get so wrapped up in emotions when they talk about the film industry. They really dig in and they talk about what's going on in the film industry, whether it's a particular studio or a particular trend, and then they zero in on what could this mean given past precedent. Like knowing what we know of what's happened in the film industry within the last 10, 15 years, even the last year, what can we extrapolate is going to happen from these decisions going forward? Will this be successful, or why did they make this boneheaded decision? So it's really hard to pin down what my favorite Midnight's Edge video is, but I can tell you that when they have a new video out, that's one of those subscriptions that I immediately want to click on and watch their new video, because their analyses of these different topics in cinema are very learned, and they're very
It sounds like they're very even-tempered.
yes, they are. They're very even-tempered. Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but so much discussion about popular culture, whether it be any movie that starts with star or property or whatever, it's not very even-tempered.
Right,
Like
yeah.
it tends to get
Or
very
objective.
Yeah, and so it sounds like, would you say it's safe to say that Midnight's Edge, it takes that approach to it, and it's you always know consistently that you're going to get that approach.
Yeah, there's that line in the beginning of Big Trouble in Little China by Egg Chen where he says, "We take what we want and leave the rest, just like your salad bar." And Midnight's Edge, you can engage their videos in that way where they give you the facts of the situation, and then at that point you can, if you decide all you wanted is the facts, which I never do, I want to hear what their analysis is as well because they've been doing this for so long. Then they go into a new section which is of each video essay, which is here's what we're extrapolating from those facts. But it's all very clearly delineated, so like you can just watch the first 2/3.
You can fall out where you want to.
Yeah, I really like the way they do their stuff.
Decepticon Albro says, Melinda, do not open that wormhole. Golu, is it Golu or Goku? Versus Superman destroyed the internet. World War III will start. That was that.
Sounds like the fans went to battle after that one. No one accepted
the thing is,
result.
I was oblivious to all of that because I never heard of that guy before.
Right.
I was like, who? I know Superman. I don't know who that other guy is with the, weird hair. The like the troll hair.
You're talking about Goku?
Like a treasure troll. Yeah.
She is.
Yeah, Goku.
Yeah, treasure troll.
But there's also these other characters that I keep hearing about from my friend Kyle, like because he mentions them on his Facebook a lot. Broly and Vegeta. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't either.
But anyway,
My favorite
I'm not
vegetable.
educated on it, so I need to educate myself at some point.
Well, Leo Convoy has a comment just for you regarding that.
I'm going to let you read that.
Coming right up after these messages from our friend Leather
I'm going to
Shoes.
say it.
We like leather shoes. Now we're back.
I'm going to read it. Lio Convoy says, gonna say it, Dragon Ball Z is a waste of time and energy. There's a plethora of anime that's actually written competently that you could watch instead. I know Michael well enough to know he'd hate it. He said it, not me. I'm just reading it. I'm just the messenger.
Again, I like channels and voices that are honest, and I like channels where I can watch something even if I don't agree with it. I like their conviction, and Lio Convoy Reviews is one of those channels. I just love watching his stuff.
Well, and with his comments comes a great depth of understanding of the anime community and world.
Right.
So
he's very much invested in the anime pop culture fandom. He knows his stuff. So whether you agree or disagree with his opinion, you know that his opinion's coming from a place with a foundation.
Okay.
Michael
Hinkson says, what would you guys think about doing a Zoom podcast? It would probably be a lot of fun. However, it would probably be a logistical nightmare to do. We talked about this with folks back at the beginning of the pandemic and sort of asked, would that be something that you'd be interested in seeing? All of the crew could just jump on. We could all be on there. You guys could watch us, have a call. Like we could record it or whatever. We'd figure out a way. And everyone was like, no, we're sick of seeing Zoom. We don't want to see them do that. We want to see the studio, we want to see the lights.
We should make sure that it's a
stuff.
Business meeting, though, with lots of metrics and charts.
Yeah, we should just.
So basically, our annual meeting where I literally I'm not even kidding. I make a PowerPoint presentation and I pull metrics and I literally make graphs and we review like trends over the year and everybody on the crew looks at me like, really, Melinda?
I
and
get
I'm
a
like,
bunch
yes,
of notebook
really.
paper out and I sit there and take notes, but I reveal at the end that I've just
and
been
everyone
doodling
kind
the
of
whole
like
time.
any meeting you've ever been in, they just sit there and they're like glazed over and not paying attention. Then I'm like, so here's what I take away. Here are our top 3 metrics we take away at the end of the year. And everyone's like, okay.
Yes, please tell me more about our engagement in Connecticut. Melinda.
Exactly. So,
no, but I think he may also be referring to being a little self-serving here, but like we did do a Dreamland podcast and we used technology like that to record it. That was primarily because of the full lockdown we were in and the fact that we couldn't record anything for you guys on Dreamland.
Yeah.
But both Melinda and I kind of walked away from that going, man, that really felt like work.
it did,
not
because that's my
not
job.
Like hard work. Like I don't mind pushing the wheelbarrow, but it just felt so
like you're at your day job.
Right, and it was a little more difficult to just kind of be loose and kind of in the moment. The way we like to do that, so.
Well, the brain is a funny thing, and it gets used to doing certain things in certain places at certain times. And so, like, if you want to get out of a rut, like say you want to quit smoking, for example, the biggest thing to do is to not be in the same place. Like if you normally have dinner and then you go sit in your recliner and smoke, or you go stand out on the porch and sit in a chair and smoke.
That's a really specific thing, Melinda.
I'm just saying, like the best thing to do is to not go to that place to form a new habit. So literally being in a new place can form a new habit. But in our minds, this camaraderie, this energy that we raise to do all of this is in this space.
Well, but also we can bring something else into this that I think will be interesting for everybody that ties into that question, which is we were recently asked to contribute to the newest, because DragonCon has been canceled in person this year, but DragonCon is going to have a virtual convention this year. It's going to be...
Tim, don't run away.
Hey, Tim, there's also 2 tubes upstairs you need to get that are laying there.
Tubes?
Yeah, there are 2 tubes
okay.
laying on that.
No, the reason I said that is because Michael's bringing up the DragonCon piece, and I feel like it'd be a good moment for you to
true,
wave
yeah.
at the camera in person. So, Michael, you sat down with...
So when DragonCon, the animation track has asked us to participate in the virtual convention this year, which means you have to submit videos in advance. And Melinda and Aaron and Tim and I all had the discussion about, well, a lot of these panels are going to be Zoom calls. They're going to be, but that's not going to feel like a panel really. That's going to feel like you just being a fly on the wall watching a Zoom call. And we thought, wow, we actually have like a panel style table here with a great background, and we can bring all this production value into our submission for DragonCon. And so that's what we did. And so that's kind of, that I was just trying to add that to the whole thing about Zoom versus this,
Well, I think they both have pros and cons. You can probably see faces more up close. Someone earlier, and I can't remember who, said, we need a close-up of Michael's reaction shot. So, I mean, you would have more of a feeling of that person's face on the screen. Right. I guess it just depends on, it's sort of like what we were talking about earlier. Do you care more about, like, seeing the people's faces, or do you care more about seeing the toys? Right. I prefer seeing people's faces, but I think most people watching care more about seeing the toys than us. I could be wrong. Yep.
I don't know. I was just thinking you err on the side of what's the better set, what's the better backdrop, what's the better environment? Yes,
have the discussion.
Yes, environment. Yeah.
Decepticon Albro says, Lio Convoy, I'm going to give you that. You're very right that other anime have learned through Dragon Ball Z's original animes many, many mistakes. Worldwide Cock says, Dragon Ball without the Z is one of the all-time great manga series. Once Goku grows up, it becomes a series of escalating endless fights and totally different from the first series.
Now, see, that's interesting intel. See, that tells me I know where to start. So thank you, Worldwide Cox, for that. I appreciate that a lot.
Lio Convoy says, not going to further hijack this, better anime didn't learn from Dragon Ball Z's mistakes. The decline of shonen is due to aping Dragon Ball Z. The ones I recommended either came before Dragon Ball Z or took nothing from it.
See what I mean? Dude knows this stuff.
He does know his stuff.
He does. I'm not going to get in an argument.
Anime is its own pit of snakes. Like,
anime is something I don't even want to go near. So even though I enjoy a lot of anime, I know that my knowledge well is not deep enough for me to talk about it in any format, because
I would just say having a guide wouldn't hurt.
Right. Little bitty tubes.
I know he has one little bitty tube, and he brought down a large tube.
There were 2 little bitty tubes.
Hey, guys.
Oh, he went. I'll go find him. Him in a minute.
Lava tubes.
So anyway, I think the bottom line is everyone has their things that they like for whatever reasons, like whether it's guilty pleasure or whether it's because of nostalgia or because they think it's technically good or whatever it is, and that's fine. I think we can talk about all these things, but if you love Dragon Ball Z, that's awesome, and if you hate Dragon Ball Z, that's awesome too.
Thank you, Melinda.
Yeah, you're welcome. Chris Rippengale says, have you been following the progress of RoboDoc, the RoboCop documentary? Can't wait for next week. Thanks for making weekends better.
I haven't been following the progress of that. There's so many.
Have you? In your studies?
Not for very long, I can say that.
There are so...
But I am interested.
Yeah, there are so many independent documentaries being made now, thanks to all the streaming outlets, that you can't keep up with them. It's like, there's a He-Man one, and there's a Star Wars one.
I have documentary paralysis.
Yeah.
You remember when the advent of streaming services came out, there was sort of this moment where everybody was talking about whatever the new hot documentary was.
Right.
And so they became very popular, and so there was the Super Size Me and all this other stuff that happened. So now I turn on these services, and I go to documentaries, and it's starting to feel like the people who made Superman or something just sort of
Right.
bought a bunch of material and
Yeah.
stitched together.
Yes.
Like, here's how Saturn works, and
Yeah.
and you start to watch it and you go, oh, this is just moving music and pictures.
Right.
I don't really learn anything new here.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where getting people's eyeballs on your documentary is almost as difficult now as just a conventional television show.
But United Skates, you hipped me to that one when we were prepping for the Xanadu podcast, was an amazing documentary. So it is hard, but you can find actually good, interesting
Right.
documentaries out
But
there.
there are, just like with the low budget shows that look high budget from their thumbnail,
There's
you
so
can
many
find,
bogans out
yes, you
Yeah.
can find a lot of stinkers. You gotta
Well,
be
I
careful.
think documentary films, and this is a big thing for me. So, like, I love documentary films, and I studied them in grad school and stuff like that. And there's all different kinds and genres within documentary filmmaking. And now we're in that postmodern era of, like, stuff that doesn't even really qualify as what we traditionally think of as documentary, because they have a very clear agenda, but they come off like they're presenting facts instead of, like, really sort of, and things that have, like, the voice of God narration over stuff tends to sort of feel like they're pushing their ideas on you. And so you always have to keep in mind that you have to question everything a documentary is telling you. But again, like, when you're talking about something like United Skates, it's really interesting to get
The voices are the people.
the voices are the people. And so when you're giving people who normally don't have a voice to talk about certain things, I think that's one of the strengths of documentary. Or you have something that's a very personal story that's just like one person, sort of confessional type style documentary filmmaking. So, but yeah, there's a lot of, like, slick Hollywood produced stuff that has an agenda. And I'm not going to say the name, but there was one recently that really interviewed a lot of people, then edited all of the stuff together to make it seem like this was the story, because they had an agenda for salaciousness, because they wanted as many people to watch it as possible. But it wasn't really the story. And it took the underlying true story that really was important and made that be over on the side. And the focus all got,
Sorry, I have cat allergies.
So anyway, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. Vinkman says, Aaron the Aaronist Aaron, whoever Aaron, was hankering for some cheese. He went to the supermarket, but it was packed. He cleared the area by using his trained flatulence. As they ran away, he heard, ugh, who cut the cheese? Wow. I mean, that's
Nice.
nice.
I hope all these are in a coffee table book one day.
I think
They're
so.
just all collected.
Well,
And,
it'll be a
and the
different
book
chapter.
turns into a coffee table. Decepticon Albro says, as a proud Dragon Ball Z fan, I could admit that Goku will never beat Superman. Also, it's Vegeta.
The wormhole is
Vegeta?
open.
Vegeta,
Vegemite.
sandwich.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I said Vegeta, but I didn't have anyone to ask.
Hold on, go back up real quick.
I am trying to make sure that I see them all. It jumps down to the bottom. Scott says, I know nothing about anime, but the spirited back and forth is helping me through my hangover this morning. Thanks all.
Sometimes it takes a lot.
Sometimes, all you need is some really greasy food and a spirited argument to get over a hangover.
Or lose a friend. Be careful.
Yep. Greg Klein says, you've probably answered this before, Michael, but what was your first Star Wars figure you got as a kid?
I answered that at the beginning of the
Okay.
thing.
Simon says, Michael, are you getting Kylie's 15th studio album, Disco, going to be a callback to the 70s
We talked
and 80s?
about that. You were like, nah, I'm not.
No, I'm totally getting her next album.
Are you getting the LP or are you going to get the vinyl?
That's just an invitation to talk about it.
I'm not gonna get the LP from the off. I'm just gonna get the CD album at first. The LPs kind of, when I see them or find them, I grab them, but I don't.
It'd be a nice thing to frame, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
but maybe more your favorite one from the 90s.
Which
would
I
be-
already have
yeah.
framed. Which yeah. But I will be getting that album for sure. I love the new single on it. Yep.
Bjorn says, is there a good substitute for eggs in baking? Well, yes, there is, actually. You can use, I think it's chia seeds. There's some sort of seed that you can add just a little bit of water. Flax seeds, that's what it is. You put just a little bit of water in there and just let them, so they get sort of like viscous. And you can use
like
that
viscous
in
food.
vegan baking a lot. Also, you can buy a egg substitute that is non-dairy, non-chicken related, that you just mix with water, and then it's like an egg replacer. It comes as a powder, and it's shelf stable. So that's
I've
very
heard of
useful.
using flaxseed oil before, but not really cooking flaxseed that way. Where's your favorite place to procure it? Obviously you probably have your small boutique. You don't want to give that away because it's kind of a secret. But is there a wholesaler or someone you would recommend for obtaining flax seeds?
Amazon.
Amazon? That's everybody's choice these days, doesn't it seem?
Well, I
If
mean,
you
what
can't
choice do
find-
you have? You go to the store and there's literally nothing there.
If you can't find flaxseed, what is your go-to substitute? Is it the egg substitute, non-dairy?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Stop.
Okay. Somebody asked, I lost it in the thing and I apologize, but what is the, oh, here it is. Zathra says, any update on MacGyver videos?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am almost through my note-taking on season 2. I've been working on that very heavily the last week and a half. The next episode of the MacGyver feature is going to comprise series or seasons 2 through 4, I believe. So I'm almost done with season 2 and I'm going right into season 3, and I'm even ingesting the DVDs as I go. So when I finally get done with that, I'll be able to just write the script. So I'm hoping that will happen sometime like early September. But all these things get pushed out and the schedule gets moved around a little bit. Like, we've got this internet thing that we're going to have to work out today after this live stream is over. So we're doing everything to the best of our ability as fast as we can without compromising quality. So, but yes, it is actively in production right now.
Just to sort of follow up on that, Dean Hepler says flaxseed will thicken, but it changes the flavor. That is true. You would only want to use flaxseed in a very organic-y, vegan-y type of recipe. You wouldn't want to just do a straight-up substitute. For that, you would need the egg substitute stuff that I talked about, which doesn't change the flavor. And if you're making a cake for your grandpa, which you said you are, I would definitely recommend using the powder.
Good stuff.
Anyway, no one else probably cares, but I'm just trying to answer the question. Vinkman says, would Aaron the Aaronist, Aaron whoever
See that
Aaron...
one right there?
Okay, but I already started reading this one, so just let me read it. Would Aaron the Aaronist, Aaron whoever Aaron be a coffee table book, a Tolkien-type fantasy book, or a children's book?
No idea. I could go
think
with
it would-
Tolkien, to be
I
honest, because I
agree.
love the idea that there's some deep
Tripping
lore.
through a forest and running into Tom Bombadil and...
Running through the forest, running into Bombadil,
Exactly, I think that's a song.
eating
from
lots of flaxseed and hanging out today,
Having lots of flatulence and clearing out the cheese.
and clearing out the supermarket. Now I sound like somebody from a cartoon in the 90s.
Far Starbuck, which is a very cool name, by the way, says, guys, check out the Valverde Broadcasting on YouTube for a great interview with the RoboDocs director, Chris Griffith. Really, Chris Griffith? Almost like Chris Griffin? Anyway, and the latest on the progress. Okay. Thank you for that.
I really like RoboCop.
I feel the same way, Michael. Little Space
So-
Ghost Coast to Coast flashback.
Romulok says, do you like the British show Spaced, made by the people who did the Cornetto trilogy? I do not
I haven't
know
seen
that.
it.
Have you heard of that, Michael?
But I like that writing team.
I have heard of Spaced. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm reserving judgment until I do see it.
Saturday Morning Fan says, did you watch Saturday Supercade on Saturday mornings? Optimus Prime was the voice of Mario in the Donkey Kong cartoon. I did.
That sounds
Optimus
crazy.
Prime was the voice of Mario.
Mario.
I need that for me. Bounce out.
Luigi, I need that fire flower.
Luigi, I need that fire flower.
Brothers, roll out.
Mario Brothers, roll out.
Mario Brothers, get bigger and leap.
That's more of the guy that you do.
Well, I'm thinking about. I base my Peter Cullen impression on the intro of Voltron.
Yeah.
From days of long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, and then he's got a little bit of John Wayne and his Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
So he's always like Mario.
Mario.
Kieran Ball says, hello, Tim. You are my favorite.
Thank you.
He says thank you. Bunyan Snipe says, Hasbro is lame. Imagine an amalgam of Mask and Transformers, Tracker and Prime, Mayhem and Starscream in Mask scale. Never gonna happen.
Well, no, because Hasbro doesn't understand what the properties they've acquired are really about. I mean, they're talking about apparently making 6-inch scale figures of all the characters from Mask, but it's like, you do realize that Mask was about the vehicles, not just the figures. So every vehicle needs to be with their character, and they don't get that. It would be it would make more sense to make a Hot Wheels line of the Mask vehicles without figures than it would be to make figures without vehicles.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Petey says, "Hi, Mike. Did you ever watch a TV series called BJ and the Bear, and what did you think of it?"
That was the one about Man and his monkey.
No.
Wasn't that the one with Burt Reynolds
I don't remember
racing a car
I don't remember Burt Reynolds.
with a chimpanzee?
Don't think so.
I don't remember Burt Reynolds having a TV show. You might
Whatever.
be thinking about a movie. There's also the Clint Eastwood movie with the orangutan called
Yeah.
Every Which
He
Way.
didn't get my joke.
Every Which Way But Loose.
That was a joke.
Oh.
There's a movie called something BJ and the Bear-ish.
Well, I just know that it's a TV show. It was referenced by Jason Lee in a Kevin Smith film. I believe it was Chasing Amy, where he said, why don't they make good shows anymore, like BJ and the Bear? And he says, that's a concept I can never get tired of, a man and his monkey.
I don't like it.
Look, I'm just quoting the movie, all right?
Looks like Tim found his "don't quit your day job" moment there.
Subozor says, Mask sucked. Not
Okay,
a,
I
not,
mean,
not a Cher fan.
Is that
not
the-
a Cher fan?
Is that the dish that you brought to the party? Just gonna walk in and drop
gotta-
some
you gotta,
Mask sucked
like,
on the table?
Mask
I mean,
sucked.
really helpful, man.
Not a Cher fan.
Cher, the movie with Eric Stoltz.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one with me. I
It just
apologize.
Oh,
it's
no,
because
no.
I put a pause in there because I wanted people to get mad.
You will laugh at my joke.
And then I screwed up your joke, dude. I'm sorry.
No, I got the joke, and I thought it was funny. And I'm also the guy that walks in with a plate and just drops
a
it
mask
at a party.
of this sucks.
I walk in and I'm like, Thundercat sucks. And everyone's like, hey! And I'm like,
All of a sudden, that party is lit.
and I'm like, bring it.
I mean, people do get really upset when you don't like their things, but
But you know what's disingenuous about that? They never get
No.
upset the whole time I'm disliking other things, and they love it. And then I get to their thing, and they're like, oh.
well,
Oh
I mean,
man, now it's my turn.
I had a guy one
I
time.
can relate to that, you guys, because when I showed him the Lost Boys and he hated it, I was like,
It engenders.
kind of hurt my soul a little bit because I felt like he was rejecting me. But the reality is, and I'm saying this just from firsthand knowledge, Michael just views things in a very detached way. Like he's watching it because he has been trained as a film student. He's been trained in all these ways, and he just sees
Go get
things
him a bowl of maggots.
that we don't see. And so it's like, he can't help it. That's just the lens through which he views films or stuff. And so he's watching it and he's like picking apart things that you don't see because you're just like totally all in, like, I am buying into this reality and I love it. And he's like, I can't completely buy into this reality because they didn't do this right, or they're kind of, their tones are off or whatever.
And then I come in and I go, I don't like Empire.
And I'm like, that's fine. I don't see,
But
I
he
don't,
doesn't get mad
Guys,
when you don't
get-
like his.
Somebody has to bring some food everybody wants to eat to the party, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
One or two people can bring their vegan food.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Led Zeppelin didn't write songs everybody liked. They left that to the Bee Gees.
You can tell by the way
It's a quote from Wayne's World. Anyway, so to answer your whole question about, so a few years ago, there was this supporter of the channel who really loved, we're talking about let me finish, don't throw me off. So there was a supporter of the channel who loved all of our videos. He was a huge fan, but his icon was Pokemon, which everybody has little avatars on YouTube or whatever. I didn't think anything of it. And then one day I did a video where I was talking about a totally different topic, and I made an offhanded remark about Pokemon and how, like, I don't want to get invested in a show where I have to wear a belt of balls and, it was just a real offhanded remark.
It's very telling that's what you're afraid of.
Well,
with the show.
it's just like, I think this is lame. And he literally unsubbed from the channel after laughing hysterically at video after video of me, like, picking apart other things. But he wrote me and he's like,
It was a bridge too far.
He was like, this Pokemon comment in this one video, I just don't know anymore. And I'm like, really? So you're willing to laugh at everybody else's stuff, but you can't laugh at your own?
I think the point that we're trying to make is have a sense of humor.
Yes, have a
Like-
sense of humor.
Like, I can't remember which comedian it was, and I feel bad about that, but he said, the second you don't have a sense of humor about whatever you're talking about, you have crossed over into being like a fanatic. And we always use the term fan, like lovingly, but really what it means is you're like a zealot, like you don't have a sense of humor about it. And I feel like it's important to always keep some kind of perspective and go, I really like this thing, but maybe that's okay. It doesn't mean I
Right.
can't still like it.
Remember, only Jedi deal in absolutes.
Thank you, Aaron.
It's sick.
Bunny and Snipe.
Have you seen
That's true. It's. I mean,
I'm
the
sorry,
prequels
but-
really do spell that out. Bunny and Snipe says Mattel should reboot Adventure People in this day and age. A toy line about cooperation and genuine diversity could be a smash
They'd
hit.
make it edgy, and all the adventure people would be in black leather, and it'd be like adventure people messing
No,
up
that's-
everyone.
that's-
and it'd be like
90s that's
V
90s
Q
Adventure
Maven,
People.
and they'd be
Yeah.
all like wearing like black leather in a museum and like using a golden mask to control people.
Are you going to
That's-
put that fire out? I don't feel like it.
Yeah, nihilistic adventure people.
Yeah, that's
It's
terrible.
like,
I think they should call
yeah.
it that. Nihilistic
I'm gonna
Adventure People.
I'm gonna parachute out of this airplane. Don't
I-
you think it's dangerous? Ah, if I live or die, what does it matter?
You could do quarantine adventure people where they just don't do anything and they don't ever go on
Wow.
adventures because they just stay in their homes.
I do think that
quarantine adventure people. That's hilarious.
And then they always just wear their pajamas.
and they've all
no
got
pants.
They've all got permanently painted masks on their faces
That's
that you
right.
can't take off.
they just put it in the mold, like it's just impressed into the skin of the
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
That
Did you
there's
say
been a mask
depressed? A world
Someone's
made of,
real
But
excited
they all
about
still
depression.
have. But they all inexplicably still have bell bottoms.
yeah.
Just because.
I mean, why not? World Made of Cardboard says, you have educated me. I've been looking for a paper model of the DeLorean time machine. Many official versions do not have the DMC logo. The only one that does is from China. Probably fake, too.
Well, the fans are doing the best work, even if they're bootleggers from China. So,
Romulok says, a belt of balls, the new Kylie album.
please no. Please no.
Each one has a different album in it. She's like,
Yeah.
It's a record. They're big balls. Jason
Step
Anderson.
back in time.
Jason Anderson says it's all fun and games until you insult someone's sacred cow.
Yeah. But see,
Wow.
my philosophy on that is it's all fun and games even when you insult my sacred cow.
Well, I mean,
I do a lot of growing. Is all I can say. Like I
I
have
think
to
that we all need
self-examine here
that
and be
though.
like,
Like
you know
we
what?
all need to just like be a little less like you have to like the thing I like. Like no, you don't. Like we can still be
Yeah.
cool with each other.
Exactly.
Like, I can still like the Lost Boys even if you don't.
Yep.
And I mean, someone was like, Michael loses all these cool points. And it's just like, no, I mean, I should have known that Michael wouldn't like the Lost Boys because it's like kind of about teenagers and it's kind of about vampires, which is 100% in my
You
wheelhouse.
can say it's about vampires,
But it's
stretching
and
it
it's
a little bit.
but it's not. He likes the only vampire movies he likes are like Nosferatu and like some of the original like Bela Lugosi, you know, old school classic vampire stuff. Whereas this is very much more not that.
Like if Christopher Lee is Dracula, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, like okay, but I'm like
What do you think the odds of him ever being a vampire are?
But the guy from Gilmore Girls being the lead vampire, spoiler alert, is probably pushing it.
Which
I
guy
just-
from Gilmore Girls?
The grandpa from the Gilmore
Okay,
Girls
I
is
was
Max.
afraid. I was like, can't be Luke.
I just
He's too cool.
He was really young.
all
Yeah,
the
he'd just make
peripheral
him some
stuff
breakfast.
like okay, there are parts of the movie that are funny, but there are other parts where it's like this doesn't even make sense. This is bordering on satire. I cannot figure out what's going
It was
on
satire.
because like Corey Feldman's performance is so over the top. That's a really important issue. You should buy it. You know, I'm like, what? Nobody in a comic book shop talks like this. Nobody. This is.
I haven't
it's a
met many
comedy.
people who
It
act
is a
like Corey
comedy
Feldman.
movie.
It's just I can't plug in.
How much you think we should charge him for this?
We are not trying to convince
I'm not
you
trying
to like
to.
it in this
No,
moment
I'm not.
at all.
But I can see now, certainly after knowing you much better, that you wouldn't like it and that it's not your thing. And also, I know myself well enough to see that it is 100% my thing. And that is like why when there are certain movies that like I bought the Beauty and the Beast live action when it came out a few years back. It's 100% my thing. It is 100% not his thing. And so when I wanted to watch it by myself because I wanted to watch it in a judgment-free zone.
Is that the Linda
because I
Hamilton
can-
thing?
No, that's the TV show in the
Okay,
80s.
that was Wrong image in my mind. Thank you.
he's sitting over there, and I know he's judging it, which takes away from my just totally being into it and just loving.
Michael's silent judgment is powerful.
He doesn't say anything, and then of course when we get done watching it, he does what is normal for him, which is he starts pointing out all the stuff he hated about it, and I'm just like, oh.
But wait a minute. When I like something,
Michael's biography, My Silent Judgment.
look.
It's just you open it's just a picture of him going.
When I like something, though, I also end a movie and talk about the things I liked about it.
You do, and you didn't do anything wrong. It's just that I didn't want to engage in that type of discussion about it because it's a guilty pleasure for me that I know may not objectively be good, but I still like it.
But how can
I don't care if other people like it.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It's like you can sit there and say all these things are wrong with it. It's like Twilight. You guys can sit there and
Why
I know
did you
will.
do that?
I don't, because my point is I don't care. It is a thing that everybody feels totally okay.
Yeah, but you
to
basically just said throw knives at me. Like
I
that's
don't.
what you...
My point is I don't care because you guys can hate it and you guys can put down people who like whatever thing. It doesn't change the fact that I like it, and that's what I think. Whatever your thing is, because I'm going to turn it now back on you. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you have a thing that you like that a lot of people think is stupid. But that doesn't change and shouldn't change the fact that you like it, and you should just be able to enjoy it. So what's really cool, like people talk about losing cool points, what's really cool is having the balls to say, you know what, I don't care if you like it, I like it, and I don't need your approval.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
so,
I think we all do that to a certain extent.
And I think that's
My shirt isn't representing.
that
It's
is
just Teenage Mutant Ninja
commendable that
Turtles.
you're going to come out like I'm willing to come out and say I like something that other people think is stupid.
It's probably
but
my
I don't
enjoyment
care.
of the band Weezer. Like my unironic enjoyment of the band Weezer would be the only thing I could. That's my dish I'm bringing to the party. I like Weezer.
Right. Right.
Early Weezer,
Yeah.
not later Weezer.
Yeah.
They got weird.
Scott says a sense of humor is always important. I remember the Trekkies who lost their minds when Shatner did that SNL bit, oblivious to the fact that they were proving its point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like eating the onion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone sent you an article from the Onion, and you're like, oh, that's the Onion. Yeah, that's not a real.
Right.
But you took the bait
Yeah, but
before
you ate the onion.
you ate
kind
it.
of.
Bunyan Snipe says, I want every Hasbro property in mask scale. Transformers, Visionaries, G.I. Joe in that scale with modern techniques could be amazing.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Transformers in mask scale would just be the vehicles in the scale they're in, which would be awesome. And then they transform into Transformer. I think that'd be great going smaller scale with all that stuff. Let's get away from 6-inch and let's go back down to mask scale for everything and see if we can really turn the toy industry around.
Here's a crazy idea. Let's make toys.
Yes, exactly.
Instead of statues to put in your
You just
office
blew my mind.
next
Nani?
to your triangle crystal thing you got for going to the sales conference. Stop getting things to put there.
Right.
Next to it.
Yes.
Maybe a toy.
Vinkman says, too many people confuse what they like for who they are. That's why they get so butthurt when they hear anything negative about their favorite things.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, guess what? Even if you're talking about who you are, there are going to be people who don't like you just for being you, but that's okay. Like, you just still be yourself and just say, okay,
Yeah.
well, there's other people in the world, so...
Paul, you're asking about the 4K Flash Blu-ray remastered from the master print. My understanding is that it was a Studio Canal restoration off of a 4K. It was a 4K restoration of the original elements, but don't quote me on that. I think Digital Bits has more information on that if you want to go look that up. But it was a Studio Canal directed project that then Arrow licensed for disc distribution in other markets. So.
Okay, so I'm going to go back over to some of these...
My favorite compliment ever. Michael is like a toy review version. Go back up. He's like a toy review movie version of Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh, that's pretty strong.
That's Michael's favorite
All right, so
compliment.
so which one of them are us? Like the other two cohorts?
Oh, gosh. You're definitely James May.
Okay.
That means I have to be Richard Hammond?
Yep.
He's awesome. What are you talking
Hey, you
about?
get to wear cool suits. Dude looks dapper in a suit.
He loves American muscle cars.
That's true, but he's also the one that says the most problematic things in
Does he?
oh my god.
Well,
oh my god.
Back to the drawing board.
So let's
All right,
We've
fine.
got a new co-star.
Are you willing to be Richard Hammond?
I'm Richard Hammond, but only in the sense that I like American muscle cars and in no other way.
All right, fine.
Although
Well,
I do have pretty great hair.
he might be willing to trade with you.
No, it's fine because somebody's going to have to be
No, I kind of
problematic.
like James May.
The
I
other
think
thing
you
that he
are
does,
James
the
May.
other thing that he does that you do all the time.
That's true. He does do that. I don't want to anyway.
And you're the shortest.
I am the shortest.
And my hair is starting to curl a little bit.
Wicked Person says, thanks to y'all, I've gone deeply down a bottomless well of MST3K, John Pertwee, Blu-ray extras, and documentaries, and I may never return.
Wicked, it's a good nexus to find yourself trapped in.
Jason Anderson says Melinda is not Captain Slow. That's you, though, because James May is Captain Slow.
I don't have the deep lore on these characters, so
James
May
I've
is-
watched
it's a-
several episodes.
They
it's a
call him Captain
parallel.
Slow because he's like, he likes old-fashioned things. Like, he's the kind of guy who would, like, want some sort of, like, your weird coffee thing where you make coffee that's not, like, a regular drip coffee maker, and he, like, finds some really weird way to do it. Like, I can see...
You mean the Chemex?
Whatever.
The commercially available product called a Chemex?
I don't know. It
Okay.
sounded really bespoke.
It is a bit bespoke. And you're not going to be surprised to find out that is how I produced the coffee that I consumed this morning, was in the Chemex. Hand-poured from another thing that has a temperature sensor on it.
Oh, Scott says that I'm the Stig. I like that. I'm going to be the Stig.
All right, then Tim can be Richard Hammond. He also is the shortest,
Oh, well, that's true.
and he likes American muscle cars.
That's true.
King Eric, the greatest of all, says, did Michael ever play Boot Hill Buck Rogers RPGs?
I'm aware of them, King Eric, but I've never played the Buck Rogers RPGs. No.
Let's see.
So, did you hear that Eccleston's back for the voice overs or the audio stuff
Yes,
for Doctor Who?
for
I
Big
just saw
Finish.
that news this morning.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And that's kind of a coup to get Eccleston back, Chris
Yeah.
Eccleston.
Well,
I thought of you and was excited, and then I was like, you can't forget this in the next 4 hours because you have to bring it up on the live stream.
Well, a lot of former doctors' experiences on Big Finish have been universally and uniformly positive. So, like Colin Baker, when he was asked to come back to be the Sixth Doctor, even though he had been unceremoniously ejected from the role back in the 80s.
Shuffled out.
The Big Finish Sixth Doctor stories, they say, are some of the best Big Finish things ever because they allowed him to weigh in finally on how he wanted his Doctor to be portrayed back in the day that he wasn't allowed to do.
So they've kind of proven that this is not going to be attached to the original writers.
Right.
Right. So this is like an impartial sort of.
It's like we're going to allow this character to evolve the way you would have
so
liked
Eccleston could get away with saying, "I really didn't like that Moffat did this," or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Two Bob says, hi, I have never heard you guys talk about Blade Runner. Are you not fans?
No, as a matter of fact, Melinda's
Let's
one
just
of the,
stop there. No.
Nope.
Yes. Very
yes,
much so.
very much. Me and Aaron both are very big Blade Runner fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're looking at two of the biggest Blade Runner fans ever right here. So they love
I'm not
Blade
getting
Runner.
into a competition
I'm not
on
going
that,
to compete with any of you on
but
my fandom for
I
Blade
do
Runner. but-
enjoy it.
They're two of
quite
the
a
biggest
bit.
Blade Runner fans I know, and I like the movie a lot, but they really love the movie. So.
Yeah, like we went to see the 2049
Mm-hmm.
in the theater back when you could still go to theaters.
What are
and
those?
I know. And we were like, we left, and it was another one of those moments where I loved the movie, so I assumed that Michael hated it because usually, like, if I like it, I think Michael will like it, but if I love it, then I think he won't like it. Does that make sense? Like he just
You're almost
kind of,
afraid at that
I'm
point.
afraid. Well, because usually the things that
You don't want
really
to know
resonate
the
with
thing
me
that he
are.
noticed. You don't want to know
don't.
that he spotted the microphone boom in scene
So we
2.
were both very careful going into that
just
conversation. Like we
tiptoeing
were both
around.
just like, he was like, "Did you like it?" And I was like, "I don't really want to talk about it." He was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't want to.
I just want to keep liking it for a little
I
bit
just
longer,
want
please.
to enjoy this for another 30 minutes." But then we talked about it, and you were like, "Oh, that's interesting." You were actually really cool about it because you sort of were like asking me questions. You were like, "Oh, I didn't think about that," or "I didn't see it that way," or whatever, but not in a.
Well,
No.
the way that movie was produced, they did the hard work. You know, they built
Oh,
the
man.
giant models.
Oh,
they
yeah.
aged things the way that they needed to be, and they did take a lot of liberties with certain parts of the story.
Right.
But then again, the nice thing about it is that it isn't. Like, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it still worked in the
Yeah.
end. That they
I
did
felt
that.
like it worked really well, and I remember sitting in that theater and there were only like maybe 15 other people in that theater because we waited till it had been out for quite some time to go see it. And I just remember sitting there thinking, I bet everybody else in this theater is mad right now. Like, I bet they hate it. And I was shocked that the studio made the movie at all. Also, there was a point in that movie where I thought they were going in one direction, and I was already getting mad. I was like, oh my God, if they do this, I'm going to be so mad. And then they didn't, and I was so happy. So I think that made me like the movie more because of the immense amount of relief I had that they didn't go down that pathway of this person's related to this person in this way, or this really obvious thing is going to happen.
In the interest of not being too spoilery about there being a twist, I really enjoyed the fact that his favorite breakfast cereal wasn't the one that I expected it to be. I mean, because they led you up this path that you think it's going to be Fruit Loops or something, and then when it turns out to be, I mean, not a major spoiler, but what it turns out to be was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. Vinkman says, I'm going to ask a whose line is it anyway type question for the panel. Things you can say about the sequel trilogy, but not your love life.
She just doesn't have any ability to hold my attention.
Oh, that's so nice.
What do you mean?
Because you're not saying that about your love life. So that means you're not saying that about me.
But I think he's saying that in the general sense, like things you would never say.
Michael, you won the game.
No, he's wanting you to know, like, he's wanting you to say things about not your love
Right,
life.
I know, but just things you can't say in I thought he meant in general, like things you would never say in a relationship that you would say about the sequel trilogy.
No, he meant you specifically.
Oh, well, that's true as well. The statement still holds up.
Aaron?
You call that a lightsaber?
I like pie.
It doesn't make any sense from one encounter to the next.
I know.
I'm just really bored.
I really feel like this is worth more than 4 portions.
Okay.
I'm going in a deep cut here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like think of, there's so many things, like what did I feel when I watched the sequel trilogy? I was like, this is very this has no depth at all, and it's extremely surface.
I didn't need midichlorians to be emotionally attached to this.
Are you sure you want to call that a Rathtar?
Wow. Pizza Cat says, how do you make holy water? You boil the hell out of it.
Oh.
I like that.
So there's a Moonraker comment in here.
I see that. I think it's the
James
next
Bond.
one. Yeah. Would you like to read that one, Aaron?
Moonraker is my favorite novel.
Call out the person's name.
Oh, I'm super bad at this. Bunyan Snipe says, Moonraker is my favorite novel. Even though Bond is basically breaking the law working on UK soil, the film has its moments, but makes me sad.
Aaron, what are your thoughts?
I really liked that novel. And as someone who grew up watching the film, it was like, I've already know what's going to happen. And then I start reading the book and I'm like, whoa, this is so different.
Yeah.
It was really, really great. And I really, the film embiggens that story
Embiggens.
in crazy ways.
Right.
And the book kind
That's
of fits
shocking.
better into the James Bond sort of ethos. But the funny thing that happens is I like the movies to sort of have something big and over the top about them. And the novels are okay to sort of fit in a Bentley.
Yes.
And drive down the road in the boot.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
But the thing that made me sad, I mean, I guess as growing up, I should say, the movie didn't really make me sad. I think if I had read the novel first and then seen it go the way it did, it probably would have been like, I would have liked to have seen this story. Because I think that story could work really well in kind of a Patriot Games kind of setting, right? Like, it doesn't need to be this huge, army fight kind of thing.
I watched the documentary on the Moonraker Blu-ray just a few weeks ago, and they talked about the book, because they were originally going to go from The Spy Who Loved Me right to, it even said at the end, to For Your Eyes Only. But then Star Wars happened the same year and became this big thing, and so they said, we have to have a space movie.
So we need James Bond in space.
And so they went with the Moonraker title, and then they said, well, they even go over the plot of the book in the documentary, and they said that the producers were like, it's a plot of intrigue
My
kind of
gosh, it's almost like a
political.
spy story.
And they said, and we don't really need to go there right now. We don't want to go there, so we're going to take it in this other direction because we need to compete with Star Wars and the spectacle of space and
But
all
do
this.
you?
You don't. That's their logic.
Yeah.
And worked out.
Pizza Cat is just filled with jokes, and he's just like coming out with them. And I feel like I want to have a whole bunch of them written on sheets of paper in a jar, and then just pull one out each day and read it, and then have a little chuckle to start my day. For example, what does a zombie vegetarian eat? Grains. That's hilarious to me.
It's all right.
I love it.
I like the loudest pet one.
Wicked Person says Spaced has heavy Star Wars content, but has to deal with Phantom Menace coming out between season 1 and 2, which they made huge fun of. Very 90s.
Nice. Well, I'll check it out.
I'm trying to scroll down. I know there's another one. A World Made of Cardboard says, do you have a complete set of Star Ears?
No, as a matter of fact, you're seeing the extent of my Star Ears collection right now, and one day I'll get the rest of them, for a video, but it's a low priority at the moment because I've got so many other irons in the fire.
Okay.
Jeremy Irons?
Yes, always.
No.
He was in Dungeons and Dragons.
I do, sir.
I'm going to butcher this name, and I apologize in advance. Ki Demong. I'm not even going to try the last name. Do you have Inhumanoids and plan to make a video about it?
Yes, the Inhumanoids is next. I'm actually editing Robotech Part 4 right now, and then Inhumanoids is the next 2-part retroblasting feature.
Fade to Black says, am I the only one whose favorite Saturday morning cartoon series was the 9-minute Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner show?
Must be, because I don't even remember that cartoon, I'm sad to say.
I was not a big fan of that type Warner Brothers thing because it's very loud and...
Say things.
Sorry, just let them know that I know we're having a couple of lag issues. This is why we're changing internet providers today.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, yeah. Tim is aware of the lag issues. That's why we're changing internet providers today at 2 o'clock between 2
We
and 4.
just wanted to go ahead and give you your live stream, so it may not be perfect, but we're doing the best we can, and
Right.
they're
We're
literally
changing the
rewiring-
tires on this show while you're watching it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're literally having them rewire the whole house because we think there are gremlins
Yep.
in there somewhere. Ryan Reed says, what do you guys think about the new Snake Eyes movie?
I'm just withholding judgment until the movie actually comes out because Hasbro has an abysmal track record for making good movies.
I was about to say, I mean, if you look at any of the other stuff that they've done, it's not really been...
All the Transformers movies were bad. The first 2 G.I. Joe movies were terrible. Gem and the Holograms was a big stink bomb.
That did not go over. I mean, I knew people who genuinely loved Jim and the Holograms who were
really?
just kind of disappointed after
Oh,
that.
yeah, the movie was just terrible.
Guru Ladies, and several other people have mentioned this before. I saw some conversation. She says, my favorite Saturday morning cartoon was Muppet Babies, which is now the best quarantine series ever. They stayed in their bedroom, but went to the stars in their imaginations. I will say I watched Muppet Babies, which was less freaky to me than the actual Muppet show because they were cartoons instead of puppets, which I'm not a fan of. I liked, much like some Neverending
Size
Story,
Pizza
there's
Cat
a lot of
again.
there's a lot of using your imagination and the value of that, which I thought was a really good thing. The thing about Muppet Babies, which I think we've talked about before, is the fact that they pulled samples from Steven Spielberg's back catalog in terms of like they would do Indiana Jones stuff, and because it's a Steven Spielberg thing, and they would use music and they would use all these clips of things like in the background, and then they would draw the Muppet Babies on top of it. But that means that it can't ever really be released as a Blu-ray or as a DVD or whatever.
Spielberg is
because
super cool about his back catalog being used, isn't he?
He won't even use his own.
Yes, he won't even give himself permission to use his own
Nope.
back
Right.
catalog.
He
Yeah.
wanted to use his stuff in Ready Player One, but he couldn't get permission from himself. Map Film Production says, have you guys ever thought about doing a reaction video to retro-based trailers and upcoming shows like the G.I. Joe trailer?
I tend to not do reaction videos very much unless it's like to some toy news where there's some precedent to analyze something. As far as pure reaction videos to trailers and things like that, I just don't do them because I don't know if it's because I don't watch reaction videos myself, and I like to make the kind of videos I want to watch. But yeah, it's just not something that I reflexively do. So
King Eric asks if I was attacked by a clown puppet as a child like the kid in Poltergeist. No, not exactly, but
You know, I got one of those as a gift shortly, like almost. I think it might have actually been a few weeks before I watched Poltergeist. It was
I
one of
had
those
no
ones that has
problem
like the
with-
flat bottom so that it sits on a shelf. You know,
Yeah.
the clown thing. So then I watched Poltergeist.
good.
It was
It was a good timing.
mortifying.
I never had a problem with clowns. Like, I don't like them, but they don't scare me. Like, that's just not my thing. I just don't like people in costumes, like, that are like furry costumes. So, like, when you go to Disney World and Mickey Mouse is walking around, hello, kids! And he's like a dude in a big furry outfit and he's trying to come at you and touch you with his big 3-fingered hands. Like, I experienced that as like a 5-year-old and it was terrifying. And from that moment, I hated all Muppets and puppets and people and like those people who stand on the side of the road and spin signs in a costume. They freak me out and I hate them.
So did you watch the Joker, the new Joker movie?
No,
Okay.
don't want to either.
Okay.
Okay. Are you saying that there's a thing in that?
Okay.
So there's a grimace in there?
There's a Joker. He
Well,
spins signs.
he's a guy though, right? Oh, the sign spinning isn't the problem. It's the costume.
He's in
Oh,
clown
I don't like that.
costume.
Tunnel Rat says, looking at Starcom, are you surprised that there are not more of that type of toy?
They were very high quality toys, but they didn't find a market because of the dominance of 3 3/4 inch figures back then. It's sad because it's a great concept for toys, but no, I'm not surprised given what competition it was up against.
Master Son says, Keith Holmesley asks, Michael, did you enjoy the film adaptation of the book Ready Player One?
I sense a little behind the scenes,
I feel like-
a little instigation.
Like I said,
We've had
Talk about
talked
Funko
about this
Pops,
before.
Mike.
like I said a few live streams ago, the parts of the movie that I enjoyed were the parts where
There were technical things for me.
well, for me, it was some thematic stuff about where corporations are going in the future and then what they demand from the population. And that was addressed in the movie, which I thought was really spot on. I liked the fact that the customer was taking their bounty back from these corporations that were trying to just swallow everything up just to own everything. And I thought all that was very on the nose, and I liked that it was on the nose. The parts that I didn't like were a lot of the nonsensical plot stuff. It was just like a lot of the stuff that happened in that movie was because reasons, and it was just like I couldn't plug into those parts of the film.
I knew they'd lose you the second a DeLorean was involved in a race.
Oh, I
Like,
know.
that was
Yeah.
just. I mean, I think you can ask Trish. I even looked over and was like, "There's no way that you."
I
that's
just
not
felt like there
crazy.
were no stakes because it
because it was
all
video.
virtual. And so
Yeah.
it just makes it, not all of it. I know there were a few scenes that were not, but it just felt,
I enjoyed the technicality of some of the things they attempted to portray, specifically the scene where they go into the movie, right, where they go
Right.
into The Shining. And
Yeah.
while we've talked before offline, I think about how nice it would have been to see what was in the book instead of what,
Which was
what
yeah,
they
Spielberg
showed.
I felt like The Shining was a really weird choice, and I kind of didn't like it.
It was almost like I knew that they were saying, we're not giving you what you want, but look at how awesome we did this. And I was kind of mad at myself because it kind of worked for a second. Like I have never seen a better immerse a new crew in an old thing without you being able to really tell
You
that
know
you're
what?
there.
You are very right about that, but it makes me mad
But-
that you're right about it.
Right. I mean,
don't-
the
I don't
only
want
other
that to be true,
example I
but it
could give
is.
you would be like in Deep Space Nine, when they went back to the old Enterprise. That had a very uncanny,
Right.
it feels like they're really there.
Right.
And so I hadn't, they took it to a whole new level
Yeah.
with The Shining. But
Yeah.
it really was, you could not tell that they weren't in that
Right.
film.
Yep.
Vinkman says, someone's rubbing puppets on us, which is from Mystery Science Theater,
Don't do that.
Hobgoblins. And yeah, like I love the part in that, Misty, where they're like trying to like get away and they make cardboard cutouts of themselves and they're like, hobgoblins, hobgoblins, what do you do with those hobgoblins? It's a great one. I really love it. Anyway, Efren says, hey guys, Melissa, what did you bake this week? I don't know. Do you know anyone named Melissa?
I'm sure it's just an auto correct thing. So
Yes, more than
let's be
likely.
nice.
Do I
It's
have
one
to
of
be
your
nice?
least favorite
It
things.
is my least
It is.
favorite thing. I'm
It's
not
like-
trying to give you a hard time, man. I know that a lot of people mistake my name
Maybe
for Melissa.
maybe
but
his mom's name is Melissa, and it just auto
Maybe his mom's name is Martha. That doesn't mean that I'm...
Well, then we're instantly friends. Like, you could solve any problem just by having
That's a good point.
both. Yeah, so that would be overpowered.
I didn't bake anything this week because this week has been a very stressful week for us. Michael's getting a phone call on the bat phone.
It'd probably be the upcoming...
Wouldn't it be funny if, like, it was the people here to, like, work on our cable and, like, we have to stop
They
doing
do
this
call
all
when
of a
they're
sudden?
on their way, so it's probably close.
So we probably need to go ahead and start opening boxes if that's the case.
We do, because we only have 2 or 3, but we should probably go ahead and start just to...
So I want to read several of these super chats so that we don't get too far behind. A World Made of Cardboard says, the fact that till the end Toys R Us had a whole aisle of real military heroes... Nope. I'm going to start that over.
Real military hero.
A World Made of Cardboard, thank you very much for the very generous super chat. He says, the fact that till the end, Toys R Us had a whole aisle of Real Heroes military line and Walmart had the core, told me that Hasbro was missing the mark on G.I. Joe toys. $20 could get you a big playset, not just one figure.
They're absolutely right.
Yes, Tim, I need your help because
was that-
I literally know zero about
that
this.
the
I
core
don't
as in
even
the movie, the
I don't
core?
even know what you're
this
talking
was,
about.
They were talking about the military toys that were competing against G.I. Joe.
Oh, the
Oh.
core. Right,
And
the Marine Corps,
they
got it.
made some awesome toys. Michael actually has several. He's got a couple of even the planes that are just that are more modern. That even me and him both were like, man, if we had had this when we were kids, we would have been like,
Yeah.
oh man, it would have been awesome. It would have been incredible.
Oh, that's the thing that he brought home. Like, yeah.
Yes,
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're
yes.
talking about. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is from Sal. It says, just cause. Hopefully this will prove useful in a future project. We have brought our next best expert on these various things. Oh, although I'm representing this today.
Very cool.
Hold it up so the people can see.
For the
So,
people.
Michael's gonna have a fit when he sees this, and it's the whole classic series of the Turtles.
Wow.
Yeah, he's gonna
Is
know
that-
more. It's
Okay, so it's the Lionsgate DVD
yeah,
set.
it's that. Yeah,
That's
So,
quarantine medicine right there.
Yes, it is. Very
Nice.
Cool. I was a
Wow,
little
thank you,
old
Sal.
for Ninja Turtles, but man,
I caught a little bit of this
Yeah.
as well. Like, my fondest memories of
love the
Ninja
animation.
Turtles were from the Nintendo game. It was both love and hate. I hated having to go defuse all those bombs. It was like a never-ending... I don't like things where I have to go underwater and there's a clock
and this was from
involved.
Sal.
It's from Sal, yeah. Thank you, Sal.
Dude, you send
You sent some nice
you
stuff,
send
man.
some cool stuff. I tell you what, it's you topped everything last week for me with Mega Universe, Master Universe Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
I've actually been saying for weeks that
Well,
I
it's
want to
like
get my
opening
hands.
with your best shot right
Oh
there.
man, because I love those little figures. Like everybody's been saying in chat, they're done so well.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Melinda put the playset together. And
I have not started it. Someone asked me earlier. I haven't started it yet, but like I said, this week has been a little crazy. Aaron, can you? Okay, never mind.
What you need?
There are the 2 small tubes that are up there in the breakfast room. On
I
that.
got one of them. I'm sorry, I only grabbed the one.
There are 2.
Do you need both at the same time?
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm not going to.
get the other one.
Wicked Person says, discussion topic, products like Adventure People which lack an overarching story to teach kids how to play with them are missing something vital.
So true.
We're 25 minutes away from.
Oh, from
Well,
them,
we
we'll come
are-
open boxes
Oh, okay.
and knock that out, and then look at what Sal sent you.
I'm trying to get up with these super chats because people are... Mark C says, I'm trying to get enough people on Twitter to get Super 7's attention so they will make a line of G.I. Joe animated reaction figures. I would appreciate help from the chat if they are interested.
This is awesome. Thank you, Sal. This is great.
Did you hear what I just read?
Yes. Yeah. If they could do a G.I. Joe animated reaction figures, that would be awesome. A lot better than those classifieds they're working on right now. We've just gotten notified by the cable people. They're going to be here in 25 minutes. So this is the perfect ending to our live stream today. We're going to open these boxes, and then we're going to let you guys get back to your weekend.
We are going to try to do an after show.
Yes, we are going to try and do an after show after the internet has been fixed. So for patrons, just keep in mind that the after show will not happen immediately after this live stream. It might be a few hours, but we are going to try and do one around the 4 o'clock.
If it's really late,
like
just blame AT&T
yeah.
Or whoever we're getting.
or whatever,
All right, this is from
secret?
Jody. Oh, he's on a Jerry Anderson kick, everybody.
Mr. Anderson.
Says, here is some more for your Jerry Anderson collection.
Why do you persist,
I can't open this.
Mr. Anderson?
Would you like me to open it?
Well, you take off all the tape and then you pull the top off.
Look at this.
And you get
It
the
is
thing
a
out that's in
Packaged, unopened police precinct.
Space precinct.
Space precinct bike.
I thought you said Spice Precinct, like Baby Spice, Spice Girls.
Nice.
So this is something that Clemens, my friend Clemens, is it Clement or
Clemens.
Clemens? I thought so. And then as soon as I said it, I was like, am I saying that wrong? He sent it to us, or to me, and then they said that it had been lost in shipping, and they, I think they refunded his money. But then it just arrived after, months of being in transit. So I wanted to show them. I think he got me pictures of James Marsters, which that's exactly what it is. Oh, these are nice. Can you help me there? Nice.
What is that from?
That looks like it's from the Doctor Who spinoff. What's it called?
Torchwood?
Yeah.
I'm zooming in.
Maybe?
I guess so. You know better than me.
I mean, I don't know because I pretty
That
much
is
know
a-
James Marsters on
That is a
Buffy.
band uniform jacket if I've ever
Yeah.
seen one.
But he wears it very well.
What's up, Sergeant
He
Pepper?
barely wears it very well.
I mean, that's how I like it.
That's how you like your Marsters.
That's how I like my Marsters.
I keep telling you, you got to listen to
Shirtless.
you got to listen to the Dresden Files audiobooks.
I know, it's
James
on my
Marsters narrates them, and he has an American accent.
That's one thing that's weird to me.
It's
but-
not. It's absolutely
I
not.
have one
it's
more.
100% okay.
Okay.
Oh, it's the same one.
Oh, that's right, because...
Because I
Yep.
think he had it resent. And
No,
like,
it's actually a stereo thing. You put them side by side, and you cross your
Oh,
eyes.
one's the left and one's the right.
Yes, and
Got
then
it.
it seems to come out of the picture. Dear Michael.
It says, RetroBlasting, big thank you in the box. Open, close, donate to science. I'm not sure what that says.
RetroBlasting. Big thanks. Inbox.
Oh, well.
Open,
First,
close them up.
he sent me a...
Donate to science. Enjoy.
He sent me one of the Jada time machines. Thank you so much. Those are awesome. They're made of metal. They're very good quality. And then check this out. This is just in time for the eventual Star Trek video feature sequel, Khan, from the Playmates line.
Also a great place to show your movie.
Aaron, can you repeat the thing about the Dresden Files books? Someone says, wait, the audiobook Dresden Files are spoken by who?
By James Marsters.
From
he
Buffy the
narrates them.
Vampire Slayer, Spike.
He does, and he has an American accent. It's pretty seamless.
Optimus Prime
There is
Minibot.
a character in the story, I won't spoil who it is, where he pulls out the Spike way of speaking for that one character. And they have
Favorite character.
character
For you,
traits.
Melinda.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
by
that's
the
right,
way,
I got you the...
That is Torchwood, so that picture of James.
I think this is a joke.
Really?
Yes.
this from?
You need...
Is
Is that a
No,
keychain?
they're on my list now.
Is that a keychain?
It's very tiny.
It's a baby.
It's from John.
Of course
You
it's
don't want it,
tiny.
I will take it.
No, it's Melinda's. She must cherish it.
And, holy cow, this is the biggest queue I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
Well, now you know what time you're supposed to
Is
go.
that really cute?
Yeah, in the Starfleet uniform.
I
from
guess
that
it
one
does kind of
episode.
look like him.
Yeah, his nose
Well,
is
you
a
know he
little
can look however he wants.
Yes.
smushed.
I personally like it when he's wearing a sombrero, but that's just me.
That's a strange one.
All right, next one.
Next
You wanna-
bolts, please.
Do you want to save that big one? Or-
No, I'll just do it.
When,
Do it.
I think these are old. I'm going to go down to
Oh
the
my
bottom.
gosh.
That one's fragile, by the way.
Band shirt today is Edge of Sanity. Worn it before. Edge of Sanity.
Well, it's a good thing you don't just throw away your band shirts after each live
I
stream.
mean, yeah, because I'm not Cher. It's not just costume change.
a lot of
costume
share,
change.
a lot of share jokes today.
If I could turn back time.
It's close to Taylor Dane.
It is.
Close.
She's got peanut butter voice. That's why.
Peanut butter voice.
That's what I call it.
I've never heard of.
You know when you get, you know when you eat like peanut butter in the back of your throat and you kind of go like, never mind. I'm not trying to talk.
Nah, nah, nah. It happens to me all the time on this show, so you
What?
get used to it.
When you get peanut butter in the back of your throat and you kind of talk like this, or you raise,
No, the interruption
you raise
stuff.
your soft palate and stuff, and that's when you sound like Cher or Taylor Dane.
What is this?
It's a piece of paper.
Dear Michael, this time a proper enterprise for the Playmates collection.
Oh,
Oh, has an ancient wrong been righted?
I'll make everything all right.
I would laugh so hard right now if that were another J.J. Abrams.
In like never-ending stream of J.J. Abrams
Michael
enterprises.
Hinkson. Michael Hinkson says, Melinda, that is the actual Black Series Baby Yoda.
Cool.
It's the Insurrection E, which is the corrected one because the first Contact E was based on a prototype, and so the toy was not correct. So thank you, Jody. That's awesome. This is the correct E model for the Playmates line.
I like how it kind of has the frog tongue and it's catching the shuttle.
Uh-huh.
Like,
I think I'm
It's
literally.
refueling in
I
midair.
got it.
I don't think there. I think I might have 3 ships left in this line that I don't have, and 2 of them are the Borgs, and that's it. 2 Borgs, and
You
I
could
think
just take the box that came in and paint it gray.
I got 2
could.
bugs and a microphone.
where it's at.
Again, I'm going to read this because I don't think anyone heard it. Michael Hinkson says, Melinda, that's the actual Black Series Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
that's
it,
cool.
it is the Black Series Baby Yoda. Yeah, it's the one. It's in scale with the
Here,
6-inch.
let me gaze.
Really?
Let me gaze upon it.
Yep,
Let me gaze upon his green visage.
and it's typical.
It's very small.
It's very tiny.
How mysterious that his mouth is below
That's
his
what
collar.
she said.
What? Wow.
On that note,
Sal again.
that riff is over.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's not set this on Zodak. We definitely need him for the next.
All I can say
Orange
is
chairs.
Sal must he must be a
Sal must be awesome, as I think what you were trying to say. That
Sal
he
is awesome.
amazing.
Well, I know he's awesome.
Yes.
Pizza Cat says, I have over 500 puns, and I can tell. I like them all.
Please share all 500 of them with us.
He has been.
Spread out over a metered period of time so that we may
Because he
enjoy
says
them.
he says it's hard to explain puns to kleptomaniacs because they always take things literally.
They always take things literally.
I love it.
Was there a comma there, or we
Nope.
just implied the comma?
The
Okay.
comma's implied.
See, that was an advanced
kind of
pun.
like in E.E. Cummings' poetry.
Deep cut.
Oh my
Deep cut.
God! All right, I'm coming around the front.
All right.
Round the outside, round the outside.
2 Michael French dudes went round the outside.
Round the outside.
All right, first of all, what? There's too much in here to describe.
Did you hear
Eric
about the-
says of all Melinda's thoughts on Mayor McCheese? Scary or not? Yes, scary.
Even the
Origins
the
line,
fiberglass.
Skeletor and He-Man from the new figure line.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh my gosh! Origins line Battle Cat. From
Whoa.
the same
Oh, that's
line.
cool.
Okay,
What
vintage collection Imperial TIE Fighter.
Are you what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Love the TIE Fighters.
Ooh, that looks pretty nice, actually.
It does. It do.
Cardboard.
I mean, obviously this is a newer release, and then it doesn't end there. Origins line.
But
Beast
wait,
Man,
there's more. If
What's
you,
next, Michael?
Origins
you act
line
now-
Man-at-Arms
There must be more in the box, Michael. What could it
with the
be?
stash. Origins line Tila. Origins line Evil Lyn.
Holy crap.
Well, I mean, it's got to be
It's a great
everything
big
at this
box.
point. There's too much momentum.
Vintage Dagobah Black Series R2D2.
Oh, that's really cool, actually.
And
Oh, he's a mess.
just like the original R2, he doesn't want to stand up.
oh my gosh, he sent me a custom vintage Snowspeeder Luke that was in the board game that's now been repainted. He customized it to look like Wedge. So now there's a Wedge. I have Wedge.
Ah, that's awesome.
Man,
I gotta remember that one, Pizza Cat.
And we have here. What are these? Oh, these are from, I believe these are from New Adventures of He-Man from the end of the 80s. Oh, yep. Holy cow. He's got
Yeah.
He-Man in here from the same line.
Or dice.
Ah,
You know, something like that.
snake eyes.
The skinny He-Man.
You
Yeah.
lose.
Looks like he might need a sword, but he's in good shape.
Do you want me to read you some jokes?
Yeah, some of the puns are good. I like the one that said his dad farted on the elevator. It was wrong on so many levels.
Did you hear about the
Oh my
new
God,
restaurant
look.
called Karma? There's no menu. You just
here's
get what you deserve.
Oh.
This is a custom DAC figure from
You can tell a lot
board game.
about a person by who likes that restaurant and who doesn't like that restaurant.
True.
And finally, I'm at the bottom of the box. Masters of the Universe Origins Prince Adam
Oh,
and
now that takes
Sky
the cake
Sled.
right there.
I think Michael should sit back down now. And
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see him
that's the
though.
point. Samurai pizza cats.
He-Man's
so-
riding a rocket bike, riding a TIE fighter. Oh my.
So we have a lot to review, and we're going to be getting to it. I promise.
You may want to take those down just so people can see.
Michael's here. Just in
Or at
case.
least
That was
that
part
one.
of the joke. And so
Joke,
we're going
you
to be.
say?
So Sal, thank you a million.
Man.
Can't
Almost
believe
literally.
It.
Wow.
I just. Boom.
Jason says Michael built himself a toy fort.
I know.
So which one does he kick out of the toy fort? Me
I
or
feel
the
like
dad?
Jason needs to just come over and like make me laugh all day.
Jason keeps me sane is what Jason does.
Saturday Morning Fan says, has Dreamland done a Gremlins episode yet? No, we have not. But I feel like that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So we'd have
That
to,
or Die Hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I have to get ready for the cable installation to happen, so I'm going to have to jump off the live stream, and then we're going to have our cable cut for a few hours.
So we kind of need to just say goodbye to
Yeah.
everyone. We really need a sad song to play at the end of the live stream.
But just keep in mind, guys, that we will try and do an after show on Patreon sometime around 4 o'clock if we can. And I got to go, so you guys have a great weekend.
So this is us signing off. Oh my goodness.